Hey guys! The date is July 7th, 2022. As I sit here and think, I cannot help but wonder. I wonder what will be said of our generation in history. Will there be books of how we fought the fight? How we kept the faith? Or will it be filled with the regret of losing our freedom to a tyrant government who will put in history books that anyone who came against it was enemies of the country? Will the books tell of all the lies and manipulation the administrations of the world fed the citizens? Will history write about how everyday people are trafficked and no one seems to notice? How busloads of kids simply vanish from the border with no real trace of where they really went? Will it tell how a minority of people have changed the world because of their feelings? Will it say how we were warned to spare the rod, spoil the child, so we totally ignored generations of advice? And how now we wonder what happened to this generation? How we have a generation so spoiled they think everything revolves around what they want and feel. A children's book offended them, even a child's toy. That their feelings are more important than anything. That being called the wrong pronoun gets them so bent out of shape that they scream at you like a wild person. Will history tell the story of how the education system is more worried about the sexual identity of your 8-year-old than teaching them basic studies to get them to succeed? Will history tell how the parents were arrested for wanting their kids to be educated and not be taught to hate or love themselves because of the pigment of their skin? Will history tell the future generations how a tarmac full of pallets of cash was given away with no one saying a word? Will it tell how the President of the United States looked at his watch as 13 caskets of military troops who had given their lives because of his military leaders' lack of wisdom and planning? And how the media made excuses for his disrespect of them? Will it say how this same president made America a laughingstock, leaving billions of weapons in the enemy country, and withdrew like a dog with its tail between its legs? And left Americans there and said, find your own way back to America, and how some are still there? Will it tell of how this president shut down the pipeline the first week and now has to beg Saudi Arabia to get gas? Will it tell of how he was across the street of the White House to make important statements and how every weekend he went home? Will it say about how he was locked out on his first day at the White House, or how his earlobes are different than 6 years ago? Will history tell of how movie stars had lotions made out of babies' foreskin to rub on their bodies to look young, and how they used their fame to sell agendas to the world? Will history tell of how people worshipped a criminal who robbed a pregnant lady at gunpoint and is called a hero because he gave a fake $20 bill to a clerk? Took drugs and got caught dying in the process by a police officer. Meanwhile, they put the officer on trial who was found guilty. They said the police force need training. All the while wanting the force defunded. How a former officer of the same city can say a remark about another ethnicity that was very racial but still winning to become a mayor of New York. How the quarter has the presidents turned away from God we trust and no one noticed. Yet deny that the government may be satanic. Dismissing it as a conspiracy theory. Will it say how we let statues of people important to history be destroyed so criminals and athletes could be glorified? Will history say how people put these people before the one who gave them their talent? How the world turned a blind eye to the media and the lies they cover up for their benefactors? Will history books be filled with pages of all this? I wonder about if it will say we really were free when all it took was a rumor of an illness to get us locked into our homes. Scared, wearing a mask and taking a needle prick to save us from it. Will history tell the truth about how there was never any data that the citizens were the guinea pigs? Will it record how some masked their babies with masks bigger than their head for a sickness that never hurt them, that the sickness knew how to keep a curfew? And when you were eating at the table you were safe, or standing up knowing to attack you? And how after taking that little poke people have heart issues and other health issues? That athletes are dying on the fields at all ages. Will it tell of how much money was made by the companies, hospitals, and doctors because of this sickness? Will it tell of how easily the world's citizens were fooled by the lies? Will it tell of how the governments of the world rather people hate each other than come together? Will it tell of how many lives were lost so they could get a political agenda passed or keep their power under an emergency act? And how every election a new emergency is introduced requiring mandates again? Will it tell all this? Will it record how the criminals in governments can break crimes and never go punished, but a group goes into the Capitol and never get a trial? And no world government will say a word? Will history tell of how men took over female sports and caused the women's movement to go back 20 years? Will it tell how if anyone questioned anything you were silenced? Will it talk about how a movement for one group of people was actually a money scam so the people running it could buy mansions? While some supporters with another organization burned, looted and destroyed people's property and turned their neighborhoods into chaos. Anyone arrested was let out. Will it say how leaders of the administration running the country now cheered them on and encouraged the chaos, even bailing them out with their influence? Will it tell how the government sent billions of dollars to aid a war but would not pass aid to help businesses get back on their feet after a pandemic? Will it tell how people are having to decide a tank of gas, food or medicine, but cannot afford all three? Will it say how the government opened the borders, giving non-citizens freebies to stay and housing them as their own are homeless? And how many lost their homes because they were locked down and told to take a poke in the arm or lose their job? Or how this administration wanted to do away with the Constitution, therefore giving your rights away and trashing them? How some powers want you to have nothing, be nothing and be happy about it? Will history say how a country gave billions of dollars to a country ran by a president that sold his autograph on a baseball for $55,000, yet allows their citizens to go hungry and the shelves to be bare, charging them way too much for fuel so they can't work, their food plants to burn and the babies no formula? How every policy this administration shows how much they do not care about the American. How they take care of the ones who fatten their bank accounts thanks to foundations and financial backing. Will history say how the President of the United States with supposedly 81 million votes killed his country's ability to flourish and hurt its citizens with censorship and control, turning the country into a third world country? How he shows his lack of concern for the well-being of his citizens and the destruction of her freedoms. The sad part is, as I say this I will be censored, told I was wrong even though I showed you receipts. These are facts. My opinion is President Biden is not acting like a president but a pretend dummy so he can get away with what he is doing. If he pretends to be a feeble man, you will let him off the hook and he can claim incompetent for everything. And now there is a new emergency around election time. Will it be mask and lockdowns again? Anything to win to keep the power while stripping the people of theirs. I wish people would open their eyes before it is too late. I do not say these things to get attention or to make my channel great. I say these cause I know if just one person realizes the truth it's worth it. I do not care if you do not like me or what you think of me, I just care that you are awake and can be a better you for the world. Every fact I have said is the truth and can be verified through research. Good day.